Okay, welcome back to another installment of the mono printing. As we covered last time, we covered the setting up, the supplies that we need, printing, and in the last video it was actually on cleanup. This time I wanted to cover a few things about the actual prints themselves. So these are some of the ones that we did before. They're a little kind of boring. They could be drawn on, you could add more detail to it. However, in this time, the reason why I left these kind of open like this is because I wanted to show you how you can print over a print. So I always have the students keep an extra print. What I will do is I will lay them out and we'll talk about color and how important color is to a piece of work. These are primarily cool colors. There's a little bit of warm in here. You can dab there. So now what I'm going to do is overlay with just a little bit of warm colors this time, just to play with. So I'm going to start with just some of my paints, my wonderful paints for the inks here. And I'm just going to drop some things in. Primarily just all warms and I'm going to want it to be kind of loose. Now remember what we tried last time. This stuff, the inks that we tried to place down did not always go on really thick, or they just kind of start drying out. So what you can do, you can start off with just a hint of water, like I just did, and I'm just going to just kind of roll some of these out here just to create a little bit of some slimy kind of ink work and just some interesting designs I'll place in there using some of my initial tools that I had cut out of. So at this point I'm just going to start off with just this wonderful pen here. I'm going to use it as a pen, but it's actually just the back end of a paintbrush. And you can go in and add different things, different textures you can go in and remove. This is actually peeling up some of the inks. And set that to the side on my newsprint. And try another print right on top. Here we go, just going to lay it and go. Gently place, rub real well. And I'm not right now working on registration. I'm not so concerned about exactly everything lining up because it is a monoprint, but I also just kind of want the students to just experiment. Alright, and then we peel up and now we've got layer on top of layer. There's still a lot of white space. We kind of want some of that white space because, like I said, you might want to build onto that later. Now this one has a big blob of green on it, so I'm going to avoid using too much red because I always get worried about it kind of looking more like Christmas, and people think it's a Christmas print when at this point I'm just trying to just experiment with some of the basic warms and cool colors. And roll this back out. Okay, and place to the side. And now at this point, what I'm going to use, for what I've done for texture, is I've got this worn out tennis ball that my little dog Bella has been working with over the holidays. And I'm just going to kind of go in and just kind of use this to peel up some of this, just kind of roll it around. Sometimes it creates a really neat texture. It works really well on jelly plates, which we will cover in another video. Roll some of that out and place it on my newsprint. And then I'm just going to go through and just pull up some of this material here with one of my cards. And again, a lot of it is just purely experimentation and just seeing what you can play with and what you can get the materials to do. And I lay this one down. I got a little ink of paint on the back of my paper, which I'm not too keen on, but that's okay. That's why we practice up front before we start hitting the heavy stuff. And then peel this off, layers upon layers. That is what we're going for. And I'm going to do all 4 of these prints, and then from there I'm just going to concentrate mainly on just pushing out the different layers that I can push. I really like layering, especially with the mono prints, because sometimes you get some really neat effects. Try leaving some blank areas that you've already printed on. And don't worry about it, just lay down and keep going. Keep going, and I've got one more after this. Now, important when you're rubbing down, try not to spin the paper. I'm using my hand, but if I spin the paper, you can get kind of a blurred effect, which that might be what you're going for. Well, I like this a lot right here. That how that's kind of thick, layering right on top, and the dark is showing right through. Excellent. And now my last one. This one's got some warm stuff in it, but what I want to try and do at this point, I'm going to keep using the same plate, same brayers, and I'm just going to start running just a little bit of this violet. I want to see what this violet can push. I'm going to grab a kind of a new brayer, a clean one at least. And nobody says you have to go with direct effects. Now if you want, you can, this is something I've done before, is I've got these old cards, even business cards will work as well. I'm going to use just some of these business cards, and I'll just slap some of these down real quick. Because now what I'm going to do is I'm going to mask out. Mask out a quick area, and now I'm going to lay down and print from there. And pulling this one, I'm going to want to really rub in because I really want to get around those business cards. That layer's a little bit thicker, and so it's going to raise and probably leave kind of a white area around my actual print. But right now I'm good, and I peel up, and now I've actually created these 3 little white spaces on the print, which is kind of what I was trying to go for. Just experimenting right now. Good layers. It may seem a little messy. This is a little heavy right here. It's going to go on the drying rack and it will dry out with no problem. And again, now that I'm going to clean up, I can keep these cards or I can throw them away. A lot of times I just keep them, they just get thick with paint, and after a while I just throw them out. All my tools, like we did in the cleaning video, it's going to go straight into my bin with the dish soap. And they're soaking right now, and I'm ready to go. Now I'll clean this off. Alright, I hope that helps you out with layering for monoprinting. One of the new videos that I'm going to be working on is actual introduction to jelly plates. I really like the jelly plates. They do a lot of great monoprinting techniques. I like to start here, these first, and then go to the more advanced tools. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video, and let's get creating.